everyone. We are so super excited to be here with you today, getting to share a little bit about creativity and illustration and our actual favorite app, which we are going to go into a little bit. Just to kick things off, my name is Shell. I am the community lead for Aqua by Adobe, and I am here with my amazing colleague, who I'm going to let introduce herself.
Hi everyone, my name is Eunsan and I have the privilege of working with Shell on Aqua by Adobe. And my day job is a product marketing manager, so working on everything from partnerships to ads, things like that. But then on the side, I'm also an illustrator. I've been drawing pretty much all my life. I do a little bit of freelance illustration, and lately I've been using Aqua just to kind of unwind a little bit and have some creative fun without any pressure. So super excited to be here to share with you and to draw alongside all of you.
I love that. I always think like one of my favorite things about drawing, and I'll be the first to say like I like to draw, but I'm not like great at it. But it's that taking the pressure off, and I love doing it digitally because then I don't have to stress out if I mess up. Like it's easy to just hit undo and keep on going.
Yeah. And one thing that I find, even though like I do like illustrations, is that sometimes like even I have a hard time coming up with like what I want to draw. And that's one of the things I love about Aqua is that there's all these like templates and kind of like a little jumping off point for you to start your drawing so that you're not just like staring at a blank page trying to figure out like what should I be drawing today? Like you can start from a template and then really get into like drawing the details or drawing an outfit. So it really helps to kind of ease you into that creative process.
I love that. No panic of the blank page, which I think
Yes,
probably anyone who's watching this who is a creator has experienced that in some way, shape, or form.
for sure.
If we have some folks who are watching, if you want to drop in the chat, let us know where you're from, what connection you have to drawing and art. We'd love to know and shout you out in all of the good things. Um, but I'll just start with a quick overview of Aqua, and so I'm gonna let you like jump in here and interrupt me if you have things that you want to add that I maybe don't say. Um, Aqua's amazing. It is Adobe's very first app designed specifically for our youngest learners out there, but also for anyone. Like Unsan said, she likes using it just for her for drawing. So do I. It's very like easy to just get started. There's not like a big learning curve. There's a couple ways that you can access it. It's completely free, which is I think everyone's favorite F word to drop out there. Um, so if you go to aqua.adobe.com, you can actually just jump in and start drawing right away. We have a couple of versions. This is our education page. If there are any teachers who are watching, you can come straight here and there's lots of ideas of how to use it in your classroom. Or if you just go to aqua.adobe.com, it just looks like this. And from here, you don't even need a login. You can just hit start drawing and start drawing. So it's zero to drawing in like 2 seconds, which is really awesome. And then we've got lots of coloring pages and learning activities, all kinds of stuff, as well as a brand new game that just launched this past week that I definitely recommend you guys check out. Unsan, did I forget anything about our amazing website?
Just one thing to add is that all of these templates too, you can do online, but if you prefer to color with like pencil, crayons, if you want something like on the go too, if you're like taking your kids, out on a trip and you need activities for the flight and you don't have an iPad on you, all of these are free to download and they're just really great to have around, if you want a little activity that you can do with your family.
Totally true. I love it. Well, I think what we're going to do today is you're going to show us how to draw some cool stuff in Aqua. And I'm going to do my very best on the back end to follow along with what you are teaching me. And we will see if I can keep up with you.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. So let's switch to your screen so we can see all the cool things that you're doing.
Yeah, so just wanted to share. This is my Behance page where I've just uploaded a couple different projects that I've worked on. So I just wanted to show you like what my style is. And honestly, like I'm an illustrator, but I also tell people I'm not that good at drawing either. Like my style is super simple. I use basic colors and it just works for me. It's the style that I like. It's kind of cutesy, but it's also really simple and that's totally fine. A lot of the work that I've done is actually with kind of like around language and culture. So I was born in Korea. I grew up with a Korean family, speaking Korean at home. And as I got older, I like realized I'm like kind of starting to lose my grip on the language as I started to use it a little bit less, living away from my family. So one of the projects that I've been doing is just leaning into that Korean heritage, working with Korean brands, Korean cultural centers, illustrating things like um, just like Korean idioms and things like that. Illustrations inspired by like I don't know if anybody's seen Squid Game here, but I was a big
Oh
fan of the
yeah.
show. So yeah, things that are like kind of inspired by K-pop and K-culture. I also really love learning languages. So another project that I had was while I was learning Icelandic, I was also creating these little icons. To kind of map back to like words that I was learning. So it was a way for me to like kind of study without like really, writing down words to memorize. It's just a different way to kind of engage your brain in a visual way to learn a language. So
It's kind of
um,
like your version of Sketchnote.
yeah. And I think just like visuals are really helpful if you are like learning a new language because there's
Hmm.
just a lot of like letters and stuff. And I read a really interesting study that says that like it takes like, I don't know, something point something milliseconds for you to like recognize an image versus an actual written out word. So even if it's a foreign language, if you're so able to associate that foreign word with an image, like your recall is just that much faster and it's going to help you learn a language. So that's why I was like, oh, I think it's really useful to be able to like draw stuff as opposed to just writing it out when I'm memorizing these words.
Ooh, okay. The former teacher in me is getting excited about what you're saying because like I'm thinking about in classrooms when we have multilingual learners, like kids who come from all over the world and they come in and maybe they don't speak English, but they're trying to learn it, but they're or we're trying to communicate with them in different ways. Like that's where them being able to draw and create visuals can cross language barriers in a really powerful way and also support their learning.
Yeah, and I think it's like I think kids are already doing like in sciences when you're drawing a diagram as opposed to
Mhm.
just like memorizing where it's supposed to be labeled. Like I think definitely like as humans, like we grew up with pictures before words and just like the two of them, it's just a really powerful combination.
Can I ask
Anyway,
you a really random question?
yeah.
What made you want to learn Icelandic? That's so
I
cool.
know it's really random. It's like a pretty common question that I get. But so I'm based in New York, and New York to Iceland is only a 4.5 hour flight. And back in the day, like Iceland Air used to run these crazy cheap, like come for the long weekend, like flight plus hotel packages where like you could go and spend like a weekend for a couple $100 for like the flight plus like 3 nights hotel or something. That was like 10 years ago, probably more than that. So then like I was like, okay, well, I don't have anything to do over like Thanksgiving, so like maybe I'll just like go to Iceland. And so I went the first time. I really liked it, and I was like, oh, I want to like come back because there's lots of different things that I want to do. I just didn't have enough time to explore everything on that first trip. So then I kept going back, kind of year after year, and then I think after the third trip, I just happened to find like Icelandic language classes that were being offered at the Scandinavia Center in New York or Scandinavia House. And then I met a bunch of people who, just like me, had been, zero connection to Iceland, by the way. It's not like we had family or like married an Icelander, but they were just like, yeah, we also just love going to Iceland. It's like super close and like really beautiful. Very different, I think, from New York. So I think New Yorkers like to go where there's like no big cities. It's all nature, like very much like the opposite of what you would get if you were to live in the city. So I just kind of like fell in with this group of people who are like, oh, like we should all go together and like go visit our Icelandic teacher. And yeah, that's kind of how I fell into the Icelandic
That is so cool. I
trend.
love that
But
you're just like, I like this thing and now I'm gonna learn it. Like, I
yeah, I
respect
mean,
that so much. That's so cool.
thank you. I also just love learning languages. So like after Icelandic, I learned Dutch and I'm currently learning Japanese. So like I just really like languages. I feel like it's really cool to go from like literally knowing nothing to like being able to say even like basic sentences like hello and like how are you? My name is this and this. So
Yeah,
yeah, big fan
no.
of language learning.
Communication is power, right?
Yep. And if you can do it in multiple languages, and I feel like it's just a really cool way to connect with people from different parts of the world. So
I love that.
cool. So should we move on to some drawing? I'm gonna switch
Let's
over to
do
the
it.
Aqua app. There's
Which is
so
the
many.
other way. That's the other way to
Yes,
get into
this is
Aqua.
also free. You can get it on your iPad or your iPhone, and this is going to give you kind of like the full spectrum of the Aqua experience of being able to turn your artwork into 3D, following tutorials, seeing your work in like different mediums, like drawing something, turning it into something made out of yarn or something made out of paper, which will also show you. But feel free to download the app. It's free in the App Store. And there's just so much stuff that you can do in here. But to get us started, let's go over to New Paper Pier, which is just here on the left-hand side. And this is going to be like our kind of standard starter canvas. It's pretty blank, and I will say it's probably the easiest Adobe app to use because again, yes, it's made for kids. It doesn't mean that it's simple, but it just means that it's very user-friendly. And I'll just show you some of the basic tools we have. So on the bottom, you'll see this little pencil. You see the slider here that lets me make it bigger and smaller. You can see a little preview of that. And then this makes like a really cool kind of like textured stroke. And then we have the crayon, which is a little bit coarser than that, but of course you can like make it smaller if you want that same texture, a little bit more space in between that stroke. And then we also have the marker, and this one is probably the one that I use the most because it looks the most similar to illustrators, to like the brushes on Illustrator, the one that I use. And again, my drawings are like pretty simple. They have like a clean outline, and this one is the one that I use the most. I also like this because once you draw like a complete circle, you can use a paint bucket here to just fill that in really quickly. So just a really nice way to like quickly add color to your artwork.
Time
Um,
saver pro tip. We love it.
Yes. And then we've got some brushes that actually come from the Fresco engine. So we say that this is an app for kids, but there are some very sophisticated tools in here. So this brush is an oil painting brush, and just like how oil paint behaves in real life and kind of mixes the colors, like this will start to do the same. And you can see how like all the kind of colors are blending together. Just a really cool way for like kids to experiment like with oil paints in a digital setting. And the last one is a watercolor brush. And this one is transparent, so you can start layering colors. And you can also use it on other, this was like that marker, and you can see that it starts to run because like I'm adding the watercolor brush, which again is a really cool way to just like see how like it's a digital tool, but it behaves very much like it would in real life. And I've also shown the paint bucket. And then we also have the eraser. You can, if you make a mistake, which I do pretty frequently, you can just erase anything you don't like. And then we have some really fun brushes, like this little rainbow one. So you can get little star brushes. You can make it even bigger. We see like a lot of kids loving this rainbow one. Just a fun way to add a little flair to your drawings.
And the cheese brush, that's my favorite.
Wait, is this the cheese brush? Oh,
The
sorry, I didn't.
far
This
far
one.
left, yeah, all the way on the left, the cheese brush.
This kind of reminds me of churros a little bit, like when you go
That
to,
has been a hotly debated
yeah,
topic.
like the, oh
Uh,
yeah, that's definitely a churro brush
is
right
it
there.
churro or is it spray cheese? Like it very
Ooh,
I think it's one of those things where it totally depends on what you grew up with. And I totally grew up,
yeah.
I was a spray cheese kid. Like that I was at my house as a child.
Okay. I was not a spray cheese kid, but I was a spreadable cheese one. Like I had like the cheese with jars, but I never got the spray can, but I'm sure they
Oh,
taste the same. So I'm a
it
big
was
fan of the
it was top
liquid
notch.
cheese.
The like turn it upside down and squirt it. Oh my gosh. All day.
Lastly, we have some additional brushes here. These are all cool textures. You can unlock these with little shells that you can gather by completing different events. And then we have some other fun stuff like stickers, and then backgrounds, which we'll go into a little bit as we start drawing together. But I just wanted to show everybody the full gamut of the different tools that we can use. Just gonna click done here, and then we can start on a fresh canvas. So today I thought we could draw something that is vaguely spring themed because it is the 1st of May. So I'm gonna draw like a scene with a little bunny carrot farmer and his helper friend who is a koala, and they're going to be doing a little carrot harvest today. The nice thing about this too is like you can on the iPad you can pinch to zoom, so you can start with the standard size, but if you want to get a little bit more detail, you can also zoom in a little bit and get closer to the canvas. So to start off, I'm going to be kind of in the center, a little bit off to the left, and then we're going to draw kind of like a elongated oval like that to make it a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller. And it doesn't have to be perfect either because we also have these undo and redo buttons at the top. So if you don't like something and you want to redraw it, that's a really easy way to fix your mistakes. And then once you've got that little elongated, kind of like squarish oval, that's going to be the face of the bunny. We're going to add two little kind of pointy baguette looking things that are going to be the ears. And again, I don't really like that left or the right ear, so I'm going to undo and do it again so that we have something a little bit more symmetrical. You'll notice here that I have these little like lines poking, and for that I'm going to grab that eraser, just make it a little bit smaller so I can get really into that fine detail here, and then just clean that up super easy, and then switch back to that marker. Now we're going to give the bunny some ears, or sorry, some eyes. So let's draw about halfway down, two little ovals, and then maybe a little sideways oval for the nose, little line down, and then we can give it a little face. And since we're going to be doing a carrot harvest, I want the bunny to be like kind of holding a bundle of carrots. So I'm going to draw kind of like a big G for the arm, and then just start slotting in some carrots here.
This is so easy to follow.
Good.
Can I
I'm
just
also like
compliment
kind of
you on that?
nervous because I've
You're
never
doing so
like,
good.
thank you. It's just like live drawing, kind of like doing a live demo is like a little bit intimidating because I'm like, oh my God, my hand is like shaking and I don't want the lines to go everywhere. I'm glad that you're able to follow
Well, wait
along.
till you see mine and then you'll feel really good. So don't worry about it.
I also find it harder to draw on desktop if you don't have like a tablet or something. So I
Oh
think
yeah, I'm full trackpad life right now. This is gonna be next level.
And again, I'm going to go in and just clean up these lines here on the inside so that we get that perfect little hand for the bunny. And then let's draw his other hand. And with the other hand, he's going to hold up a carrot, maybe like a really big carrot that he's proud of. So let's draw kind of like a little victory hand. And then I'll put like a bigger king carrot up here. And since I have a bigger canvas for this carrot, I'm going to add a couple more details. So a little couple of lines across, and then we'll add some fuzzies at the top for that carrot top. Now we're going to finish. Oh, these carrots also need a little bit of carrot tops. But here I'm going to make the brush a little bit smaller just because these carrots are a little bit smaller. So I want to be able to get in there with a little bit of a thinner brush. And we're just going to draw three little hearts at the top of the carrot to give those little greens. Make that a little bit bigger again, and then come back to the bunny. And now we're just going to fill in the bunny's body. So let's draw a line down from that right hand all the way down to where we think the bunny's foot should be. And then on the other side, going to connect the other arm and then just make two little feet like that. And then I'm just gonna, not really happy with this foot right here. So I'm gonna bring that eraser and I'm gonna try again.
That's the beauty of the eraser and the undo and
Yep,
all of that.
super, super simple. Okay, I guess we can maybe try coloring the bunny before we move on to his little friend. So with that, like again, like I love the paint bucket because it's super easy. And then if you come over to this color, the top color, it's going to give you a lot more colors than the ones that you see down below. So for the bunny, let's go for a light gray. I'm zooming in here so that I can just tap, tap, tap all the places. And then with the carrot, I'm going to try two different oranges because we have a couple different carrots here. So starting with a darker orange. Oop. There we go. And then let's not forget the bottom. And then I'll use the lighter orange for this little centerpiece here. And then also for the larger carrot. And then back to the color picker to get kind of like a darker green for the carrot tops. Zoom in a little bit further because these spaces are quite small. Want to make sure that I'm able to click them. And then we can also add some fun textures. Like I mentioned, both the crayon and the pencil have a really nice texture. So with that lighter carrot, the large one, I'm going to click the darker orange that I was using, zoom in here, make the brush a little bit smaller, and I can start to add some fun textures just around the outside and where I put in those extra details with the lines. There we go. And then maybe with the carrot tops, I'll select a lighter green and then add a couple highlights here as well. Cool. And then one last thing before I move on to his little friend, selecting a darker gray here so that I can add some details to the ear. Just brushing in a little kind of curve to note where his little ears are. Cool. Okay, now we're going to draw his friend. I was thinking a little koala, so I'm going to jump back to
Oh,
that marker. I don't think koalas really eat carrots, but I
no, they
just
eat what,
thought they're cute.
eucalyptus?
Yeah, I
But
think
they
they're on
are
like
really
a
cute.
single food diet. Like that's all that they eat, which
But they can still celebrate spring and help with the carrot harvest.
yes,
It's
they
fine.
can. So the koala, so with the bunny we want a kind of like an elongated face, and with the koala we want something that's a little bit more round and squat, I guess. So I'm gonna draw, and he's gonna be a little shorter than the bunny too. So next to the bunny on the right, I'm just gonna draw like another oval, but a little bit flatter. And then I'm gonna give him like some pretty big ears. So I think big ears just make them look cute. So again, just zooming in here with that little eraser to get rid of those unwanted pesky lines, making everything perfect. And then for the koala's face, we're going to draw in the middle of the circle another kind of long oval like that. And then we'll do two little ovals on the side, and that's going to be his little eyes. And then for his detailed ears, let's add a little bit of a fluffy, little fuzzy ear bits for the koala. And then he's also going to be holding a big bundle of carrots. So let's draw those two big G's, this time on either side. Oh, that was a little bit too big. And then we're going to draw those same kind of carrot sticks, making sure that they stick out on the bottom as well. And then zooming in, I'm going to add those little hearts for the carrot tops. And same with the bunny, we're going to add some little feet, little body. There we go. I'm just going to clean that up once again. Let's get in here. There's two little feet. And then for the koala, same with the bunny, gonna select the paint bucket here. And I mean, koalas aren't really purple, but I do love this kind of purpley color. So I'm gonna make him a little purple koala. So I'm gonna add kind of like a lighter purple for his whole body, and then kind of accent it with a darker purple for his nose and the two little kind of like fuzzy bits on his ears. And then let's go color in the carrots again. I'm going to use the same two kind of like dark and um, light orange. And then for the bunny with we did the two dark carrots on the outside. So with the koala, I'll do a dark carrot in the middle and then the lighter carrots on the outside. And then let's give the carrot tops a color as well. And maybe just with an even darker purple, I'm just going to bring back that pencil to be able to give some little textures to the little ears. And again, you can also make these like the brushes bigger if you want a little more surface area when you're coloring in. So now that we've gotten the bunny and the koala, our two main characters, some fun things that you can do is you can actually add a background to your illustration. So I'm going to click on the bottom right, this little picture, and it's going to bring up a couple different options. So you can add a comic strip, and you can also start with a comic strip if you want to like draw in the little squares. We've got some fun backgrounds, paper textures if you want. I'll just start previewing some of these so you can see. This one's a brick wall, obviously not that appropriate for a carrot harvest, but something like, being in the field is really fun, or, if they're maybe doing a carrot sale at their school. I think this is actually kind of fun to see that in
I
the
like it.
background.
That
So
feels like it feels like something you'd see like in a cartoon.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
And we also have like lots of different backgrounds that you can choose from. So just a different way to experiment with your illustrations. And yeah, just add like a really fun element to some of the artwork that you're doing. Um, One thing that's really cool about Aqua is that you can also like anything that you create, you can put in your museum. So this is my museum here. You can see some of the other artwork that I've already added, and I can go ahead and click this, just add the artwork. And there's also like fun little customizations that you can do. So you can add like all these like different furnitures and little vases, little candelabra if you want. You can also do things like change the wall or if you want a different style. So this is the grand one. You can do a cozy one. And you can also add people. So you can actually have people come to your gallery, like this lady here. And these galleries are shareable. So you can send this to your friends, your family, or if you're using it in the classroom, I think just a really fun way to put together your students' artwork, be able to share that with their family and friends. Um, so that is oh, I got some shells, which I can now spend on some fun brushes. Um, I also wanted to just share some of the coloring pages and templates that you can start from because, like I said, fear of the blank pages is a real thing. And if you are just trying to relax and kind of have some creative downtime, these coloring pages are a great way to do that. We've always got like new content coming in. So with Mother's Day just around the corner, we have some really fun Mother's Day coloring pages. Again, you
okay,
can
I was so excited to see these popping up in there. I was like, oh my gosh.
yeah, these are super cute. And like
I'm like,
again,
here,
after you're
child, go do this one for
for me,
me.
and then send it to me. We also have Earth Day, which just passed, as well as just tons and tons of really amazing templates inspired by, different famous artwork, foods, just really, really fun stuff that is again a great way to be creative if you just want to dive into something. Another thing that I want to show are the templates. So the coloring pages are great if you want to color, but we also have some templates for superheroes. One of my favorites is this mannequin because you can start with, a mannequin like this and draw an outfit on top of it. And the really cool thing about Aqua, again, is that anything you make on here, you can turn into 3D. So very quickly, let's just start drawing a dress together. I've been thinking a lot about the Devil Wears Prada too, because I'm trying to watch that movie with my friend this weekend, and I saw that they were, all the stars were wearing some amazing dresses at the premieres. Um, so I'm gonna draw a dress that's kind of inspired by what Anne Hathaway was wearing, I think at the London premiere, which was this very beautiful kind of corseted red dress. Um, and we can turn this into 3D and kind of see what that would look like um, in real life. So I'm just going to,
I love like the pop culture connections that you could do here, like whether you're doing it for yourself or if you're doing it with your own kids or if you're doing it in the classroom, like there's so many different ways to connect. Like fashion is something that connects to so many different like walks of life, you know?
yeah. And like we have templates for different cultures too. So we've got, we have like a lot of different Indian outfits and Japanese like kimonos, and there's a Korean traditional outfit in there as well, which I think is a really great way to just like learn about new cultures through clothing, through traditional clothing. So I'm just gonna make this very simple, just coloring it in.
I did a really silly thing recently where I gave my kid my iPad and said, I want you to draw what you think clothes looked like when I was a kid.
Oh no, I don't want to know
It was
what
like
they
the
think.
most insulting thing I've ever seen in my life.
But I will say,
Basically, there was a bonnet.
oh my
Like I'm
gosh.
pretty sure she thought I walked the Oregon Trail. Like
Oh my goodness.
it was not flattering. She also asked if we washed our clothes with water
I mean,
when I was young. And I was
we
like, I know, that's what I thought. I was like, we still wash our clothes
yeah.
with water? And she's like, you know what I mean by
But
hand and
trends are
water.
cyclic. So I've been seeing like how like skinny jeans are apparently coming back. I was like, that trend just ended like not that long ago. I don't know if I'm ready for the trend to come back, but apparently it is.
I don't know how to feel about that. I just started wearing the wide ones. Like I
Yeah,
only
same.
just got to that point in life.
Okay, so very simple dress. Obviously, you can make this as complicated or as detailed as you like. I'm just gonna click done. And then this time I'm gonna hit the magic button. And what this is gonna do is basically use Adobe Firefly to turn my dress into a 3D object that I can see in different textures and materials. So this is the cartoon version, but my favorite one I think is like yarn for textiles because it's really fun to like draw and see your dress in a completely different, fabric. So you can see that, yeah, that you can see the textures of the
Hmm.
yarn there. We can also try wood. So again, it's a really fun way to see your artwork in a totally different light. And this is a very simple dress, but you can imagine with like a scene, something more complicated, how much fun this would be for kids to be able to like see their dress in real life.
Oh yeah, my daughter just designed a cloud and lightning bolt dress. That was
Nice.
a vibe.
I feel like I wish that this kind of existed when I was younger because I was making like dresses, those like paper cutout dresses that you have little tabs
Oh
and you
yeah.
fold over. Like
Oh
I
yeah,
was
the paper
drawing,
dolls.
yeah, and cutting those out and like putting them on like little paper mannequins that I made. And it's just really cool that kids growing up today have this amazing technology that's super accessible and just like brings their artwork into, yeah, this whole new world.
If paper dolls could get you where you are today, imagine where Aqua can get them.
Future is bright. Okay, so the last thing that I want to draw with you today is since Mother's Day is around the corner, I thought maybe we could put together a little card for mom. And for this, I really love like food puns. So I wanted to make a card that involves some fruit, and we're gonna put a little pun in it later. So I've selected the crayon here, and I'm gonna select one of the reds, kind of more on the darker side. And then let's go ahead and just draw like a big circle. That's just going to be our first cherry. And you can color this in all the way. And I like this crayon because it has that really beautiful kind of organic texture. And then maybe I'll add a little bit of a highlight with the white one. Oh, that's a little bit too big for me. So bring that down. And then I'm going to pick a slightly brighter red and then draw a slightly smaller circle. Let's make that a little bit bigger so we can get by quicker. Okay, and then bringing back white again, just gonna add a tiny little highlight to the side there. There we go. And then I'm going to maybe go back to the marker so I can have cleaner lines and select the black color here and then zoom in a little bit and then we're just gonna draw a little face on the cherry, kind of more on the right side. So we're gonna make the cherries kind of look at each other. So we're gonna do maybe too big of a mouth here. Little smile here, and then maybe this one will have two little kind of U thingies. So the cherry's closing its eyes. And then switching back to the crayon here, and let's select like a darker green, and we're just gonna draw some lines to connect the two cherries. So something like that, really higher.
I'm trying to think of what your pun is going to be. That I'm spending all my time here trying to go, what is it going to be?
You'll find out, but it's gonna be related to cherries. I mean, I don't even know if it's a good one, but I thought it was cute, so.
It's if it's a pun, it's a good one. I I when I used to teach fourth grade, I started every single day off with a dad joke. That was my
I also love dad jokes. I feel like the older I get, the more I start to understand why dad jokes are a thing.
hmm.
Um, cool. So with this, I'm just gonna add just a lighter green, just to add a little highlight, maybe a little bit lighter than that, to the one end and this end. And I want to show you one other like kind of magic filter that I really like. Um, And so let's just go ahead and click done. And then we're going to click magic again. And this time I wanted to try out the pixel one, which I just unlocked and it's become one of my favorites.
I
I
love pixel
also,
art.
me too. I think this is like, oh, that's very cute. Um, So you can see this cherries that I drew here, and then let's just click pixel art. I think it's because we were like 90s kids that we were like so into the pixels because we still
It's so
grew up
true.
with like the video games, like the 8-bit, 16-bit. So yeah, you can now see my cherries in this cute
Oh, they're
little
so
pixel.
cute. I love
Um,
it.
yeah, I'm just gonna, if you heart any of these, it's going to show up in your feed here. And then you can also edit any of the stuff. So if you like this one, and then here I'm just gonna add a little text that says, I love you cherry much. You can also draw a berry and do I love you very much. Alternative, if you want to use a cherish, I also thought of I cherish you as a text you could
Well
use.
done.
Um, so let's see, we can go black, and then let me
Well
just see
played.
what this looks like with the crayon here. That's gonna be cherry. Oh, couldn't fit that in, so let's go do that again. See, this is like the beauty of having a digital canvas. It's like it doesn't fit, like we'll just go back and redo it. Maybe I'll just do I cherish you, because that will fit. There we go.
Absolutely. If my
And
kid handed me something that said, I cherish you, I would just die. I'd be dead. That's
cool. So
amazing.
I'm gonna save that to my home. And so that's just a little taste of what you can do with Aqua. But like I said, there's just so much more that you can do.
Okay,
Um,
pause for 1 second because
yeah.
I do need to show you
Oh
my
yeah, let's
best
look at your
attempt.
drawings.
Okay, I did a bad job and I didn't save the first one, but I did save this one. So I'm gonna switch this over to my screen so you can see this absolute glorious cherry situation
Oh, I can't wait.
that I made. If my friends at Adobe Live can switch over to my screen, is the question. Jacob. That's okay. I'll show you later.
All right, you should put it in the team Slack. Let's everybody share.
Yeah.
Cool. Just want to show some other cool parts of Aqua. I mean, I did not understand 6-7, but I was told that this is a whole thing. So we actually built a whole new island dedicated to level 6-7, which the
Six,
kids have been loving.
seven. You
Yeah, we've
have to.
seen like tons of like coloring pages and drawings made with 6-7, so I guess it's a real thing. But we always have new content like this when we see that kids are really into something, like our designers and our devs are super quick to kind of jump on that and like launch a new island. That's been really cool. We also have a superhero rock where you can dress up not just your own superheroes, but we've got some villains as well. And I think some of the boys have really been liking the villains over the superheroes. Um, and you can also actually take photos of your artwork if you want to, start on paper and then bring it in, draw on top of it. You can do that in Capture Cove. We also have this really fun video viewpoint where you can see tons of tutorials on how to draw fun things, everything from like parrots to, a jetpack, some nature elements like fire, bubbles, landscapes. These are all taught by a children's book illustrator named Jensen. And the cool thing is that when you play a video like this, it's actually going to play inside the Canvas editor. So you can actually follow along step by step as Jensen is drawing and learn how to draw whatever you feel like learning how to draw. So definitely check those out if you are trying to improve your drawing or you just want to draw something new and don't really know where to start. And then the last thing I want to share is the spotlight. And here you can see some really fun artwork that all of the different kids have made using templates and coloring pages, but also just like original artwork um, that they've created using Adobe Aqua and then magic art, which is that magic filter that we add. But we do keep it separate so you can see, drawings that are like done by kids versus what was made by AI.
I love that. I think being able to focus and highlight the awesome work that kids are doing and then also be like, and this is also the fun stuff, but really focusing on what they're creating on their own
Oh,
is
I
one of my favorite
see.
things.
Yeah. It's nice to have like the two separate to see like this is the artwork by kids and then also this is what like they kind of tried to experiment with a little bit with the AI filters.
Yeah, for sure. for sure. Well, my friend, now that you've gotten to see my beautiful cherries
This
here,
is super cute. I think you did a great job. You
you
should just
know,
print this out for your one of your. I know it's Mother's Day, but you should give this to one of
you know
your
what? Mother's
kids.
Day is about the mothers loving their children as well, so I think it's okay. I
Exactly.
think we're allowed. Okay, so I have to ask, because we have a little bit of extra time, will you show us the newest, coolest thing on Aqua?
Yeah. Can I switch back to my screen real quick? And this is like fresh off the press. Like we literally launched this week. And again, this is a lot of it was driven by the feedback that we get from kids, that we hear from kids. Like they love games, they love to draw, they also love K-pop and K-pop Demon Hunters. So we're like, how can we combine all the things that the kids love into one? And we came up with this K-pop Kitchen, which is a game.
Obsessed. I am obsessed with this
It's
game. It's
yeah,
so
it's
cute.
super cute, super cute. So basically, you come in here and you are running this cafe. This is your K-pop cafe, and you're gonna meet all these different aqua idols that are, they're hungry. They need some snacks. So we're gonna start
Okay, wait,
preparing
hold
some.
on. Who's your favorite though? Because I feel like whoever your favorite is really says a lot about you.
Ooh,
My girls and I have decided this, and it makes sense because none of us like the same person.
okay, so she's my favorite. So I'm gonna actually Ara. And I like her because like I like her color palette, like the blue purple kind of like mixing and like also like this is like my dream hairstyle to be able to have two high ponytails that turn into braids that are super long and I just like don't have the hair to do it.
I
So
I
I feel
feel
like
that deeply.
yeah, so it's just like such a cool style. Who's your
You and
favorite?
you and my middle child have the same favorite.
Oh yeah, she
I
has
like
great taste.
Susie because she's so cutesy.
Okay,
She's like
fair,
the little
fair,
one
fair.
with the
The
little buns.
pigtails.
I just think she's so cute.
Yeah, she's very cute. I mean, they're all very cute.
She's giving kindergarten teacher energy, which is the energy I put out into the
I
universe, so
see.
I get
Yeah.
that.
You see yourself reflected in her a little
Yeah,
bit.
for sure.
Cool. So after I've selected the character, the first step to the game is actually creating your own ramen cup or boba cup or chicken bucket, depending on what the idol has asked for. And this is your chance to just kind of experiment and draw. You have all of the same tools that you saw in the editor, so everything looks very familiar. You also have the option of adding some stickers. Um, so maybe I'll add some food stickers since we're going to be making some food. How about this little persimmon guy? I'm gonna purchase one and can just grab it to make it a little bit bigger. And then I'm actually, maybe I'll add a little face to this guy. Oh,
You would. I'm picking up the theme from your art. His
I do love
It's really
faces.
cute. Let's add a face.
Yes. I mean,
Oh,
everything is better with a face, right? Oh, look at that.
it's
I'm
really
gonna add
true.
a little egg. Cute.
Okay, that's
Okay.
adorable.
And then maybe I'll just write her name, Ara. Oh, I want to make that a little bit bigger with the crayon. Oh, can't spell Ara. There we go. Little
Oh,
heart there.
it's like you're at Starbucks.
It is. Okay, so once you've had a chance to kind of decorate your cup, whichever way you want, you're going to click done. And then this is actually the cup that I'm going to play with in the game. So
Oh
now I
my
have
gosh, it's
to,
so cool.
yeah, really fun way to just like bring your art into a game. And then I'm going to catch all of the things that Ara wants in her boba. Some strawberries, milk.
Okay, what cracks me up about this is that
Yeah.
you start to get this like false sense of security, like I'm doing pretty good on this. I'm kind of like kicking butt. And
Oh,
then
and
all of a
then
sudden,
yeah,
you're
they start
not.
coming faster. And like also you gotta be like pretty accurate because they will bounce off the rim. And we've got some really fun power-ups too. Okay, so I ate the green star, and then now I have a little mini cup that's also going to be catching stuff and giving me extra points. There we go.
My
Let's
kids
see
think
what
it's
this
hysterical that you're supposed to not catch shoes and socks. They're like, what are shoes and socks doing in a kitchen? This place is not hygienic.
That's hilarious. So if I let me try catching. Yeah, so if I catch a
No.
catch a brush or a shoe, anything basically that doesn't belong in the food, I'm gonna lose a heart. Um, oh, and now we're just it's just raining. Rain. Oh my gosh. Okay. One
I'm telling
life
you, you get
left.
that false sense of security and then that just gets you.
Yep. All right, but I got 3 stars, which is pretty good, I think. And yeah, you can start kind of challenging yourself to beat your own score. And when you're done, she's going to give you a little finger heart. And then we've got new idols that are coming in for different types of food. So again, we've got some chicken buckets here. We just played the boba one, and this is a ramen one. But again, everything starts off with your own art. And it's a really fun way for kids just to kind of experience what it's like to be a game designer and play a game with their own artwork.
It's so cute. I love that the way that their art comes to life and they actually get to be in control of it. Like all of those pieces that come together to make this game just it's so cool.
Yeah.
My kids have played way too much, but in
I
like
bet
the
it gets
best way.
competitive with 3 kids in the household.
It does, except my 13-year-old got 9,999 points.
That's
The very
insane.
first time she played, I was like, "Who are you?" Like all those years of playing, of growing up an iPad kid have prepared you for this moment.
We need to like send her a prize or something, like a little gift bag from Aqua for the first person to probably reach that score so
Oh my gosh.
quickly.
So funny. I was like, "Girl, you crazy." That's so wild.
Oh, and I just want to add, you can play this game on the web as well. If you just go to aqua.adobe.com, you can play on the browser. You don't need to get an iPad. So if you're just on, your Chromebook or your laptop, you can still play the super fun game.
I love that. Okay. One last big question for you, my friend. If you could only have one island to play on in Aqua, what would it be?
Oh, I think I have to choose the new paper pier because I feel like
Me too.
there's just so much that you can do in here, and I feel like yeah, I love the coloring pages, of course. I actually find the coloring pages super relaxing. If I'm just like listening to like an audiobook or something, and instead of being on my phone, like while I'm trying to like I have this problem, which I think a lot of people do, where they're like doing one thing but also have to be on their phone at the same time. I have this like kind of compulsion. So the coloring pages have been nice because I feel like, okay, like my hands are occupied, but I'm not like trying to really listen to something and read something or watch something at once. Like it's kind of like a meditative, way to be, listening to audiobooks and stuff like that. But yeah, I think I still have to choose a new paper pier because it's just wonderful to have a full blank canvas to draw. And again, there's just so many things that you can do from that original artwork that you start from. So I would pick new paper pier. That's my zone.
That's that's a good one. That's probably what I would pick too.
Yeah, I
Um,
think it's one of the most popular islands that we have.
that makes sense because there's nothing that stops you. Like you can literally do anything on
Yeah,
it.
and I'm also curious if like do kids have this fear of the blank page or are kids just fearlessly creative and they're like, I don't care, just give me paper and they could just like jump right in. Like I don't know if that fear of the blank page is something that we develop as we get older and we have all of these expectations put on us as like a creative person.
I think
Maybe
it's
kids are
both.
like,
I think it's both. I've seen kids who go both ways. Like there's one kid, one kid will just go for it and they have no fear at all, and the other kid is like, I don't want to mess up. Um, it's always like the fear of messing up. Like I've had kids
yeah,
who are doing like an art piece and they'll take their paper and crumple it up and get really mad and like chuck it across the room. This takes that away. It takes that
yeah,
frustration away, which
for
is
sure.
so cool to me. Because man, I had some students in my class who would have really benefited from being able to do digital art that let them undo without having to erase and have the
Yeah.
line still be there. And that's always a frustrating thing for a lot of kiddos and grown-ups. It's frustrating for grown-ups too, which is why I like digital art more than
Yeah.
analog personally.
Yeah. And like I love having the iPad because I feel like I can just like whip it out wherever. It's like it fits like in like my tote bag and I can just like bring it out and just like waiting for the train or like on a bus somewhere. It's just like super convenient to have a place to be creative that's accessible pretty much at all times.
Absolutely. Okay, so would you say then that the marker is your favorite brush?
Yeah, I just really like clean lines.
It's really
So,
funny that you say that because that's probably the one I use the least out
oh,
of
really?
any of them
Which
whenever
one
I'm.
do you use the most
Um,
then?
I like the crayon a lot
Yeah,
and the pencil. I just like the texture of it.
it
Maybe
is
that's
nice the
maybe that's the
texture.
kindergarten part of me. I don't know. But I think the watercolor is so
Mm,
cool.
yeah, it's
Um,
very cool.
I think when I've showed people, that's the one that I get the from too, is
Yeah,
just because it like actually acts like real watercolor.
yeah.
It's so cool.
I've heard that
Uh,
reaction from the oil painting brush too when I've been kind of
hmm
showing people because again, I think it's really cool to see just things that generally people only use in an analog way, like but over in the digital, and it pretty much behave the exact same way. It's just really cool.
Yeah, I feel that deeply. Um, anything before, because we have just a couple minutes left. Is there anything that you can tell us that's new or coming or that we should know about with Aqua?
Yeah, I mean we have so much stuff coming down the pipeline, but
I know I loaded this question up just for you.
thanks. So I want to talk about two things. One is that we just launched a partnership with Highlights. If you grew up in the States, Highlights Magazine is just such a beloved kind of brand and publication for kids. So they gave us some really fun coloring pages, art activities. Those you can find online at aqua.adobe.com/draw/highlights. You can do those online, you can print those out, and they're all just like really fun activities like hide the picture or like find the missing item, things like that. And then the second thing that we're working on that'll be live both in the app and on the web is some templates that are really geared towards educators. So things that you can use in school. Think like life cycle diagrams, like alphabet worksheets that kids can draw, but also practice writing out the different letters of the alphabet. We're planning on doing a whole kind of dedicated island to templates that can be used in the classroom. It's something that we heard that teachers are really looking for, so we're super excited to bring that again both to the app and to the website.
Absolutely so cool. But and I know like I'm fairly new to the Aqua team still. Keep saying I'm new. I guess I'm not that new anymore. But what has amazed me is how fast we can take
Oh my God,
feedback
so
from
crazy.
people and make
Yeah,
stuff happen.
yeah.
So, for anyone who's watching, if you have ideas or you have feedback or you're like, oh my gosh, this would be so cool and so helpful for me or for my kids or for my classroom, we want to know it. So please do let us know. Our socials are all in the description, so you can get a hold of us super easily. But we're super curious what else we can do to make this free app even more awesome for all of you. And in the meantime, we will keep working on it. I love it. Linsan, thank you so much for hanging out with me today for this like hour. It was really fun. I think this is the longest you and I have gotten to like chat with just each other. It's
Yeah, I
been
think
great.
so. Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thanks so much for having me.
So amazing. For all of you out there, please do explore Aqua, keep creating, keep drawing. And again, we're here if questions arise, and we will be back here on the first Friday of the month in June to do more fun things with Aqua. And hopefully we'll have lots more cool stuff to share.
Oh, we will.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.
Bye.